Hey there, Brewster here in an episode of Brewster's Millions of Rants, and this is updates and upgrades. And I'm going to continue to do these update videos as things improve or change, or whether it's new gear or something exciting happens, or I've got a new instructional method or an album or whatever it is. But I'm going to continue to do these update videos just to keep viewers informed, of changes or upgrades, modifications, or just any, news. And there's a lot. So I did do an episode where I talked about this new guitar that I got at the end of last year, which I'm totally stoked about that. But I'm really stoked right now about getting a new camera. So I did recently upgrade and got a GoPro Black 8 with the upgraded, like media mod microphone too. So I'm currently using, my old camera, the previous camera, the GoPro Black 7, and I wanted to do like a comparison, like back and forth. So right now you're watching the old camera, and I'm going to switch to the new one so you can see the difference. All right, so here's the new camera that's filming right now, and there's my GoPro Black 7, the previous camera, and that's going to serve as my backup, just in case something happens to this one. But I'm going to play that riff again that opened this episode, and that's just an old riff I've had laying around for a while. And that way you can kind of hear the difference, like this. You can actually have an honest, A-B comparison, because I didn't change the volume or any of the settings on my amp. I wanted it to be a pretty, accurate or fair, comparison, the old camera versus the new one. Aside from the camera upgrade, I did post about this here on YouTube and also on Facebook, but there are Late Night Lessons t-shirts available now in 3 different colors, all with the same font and design. There's also a coffee mug, and this is what the shirts look like as far as the black one. And it's a Hanes. It's actually pretty good quality. I was afraid it might be just the generic, t-shirt, but it's actually a name brand shirt, which was cool. And I did order a coffee mug, but it hasn't arrived yet. I did want to include it, in this episode, but it's just not here yet as far as the shipping. I did want to remind everybody that Fretboard Fitness, my first late night lessons instructional method, is still available on Patreon. And for Patreon supporters, for the Late Night Lessons channel, you gain access to PDF notation and tab files. There's PDF and guitar profiles, for a lot of the lessons on this channel. And this summer, I'm hoping in July, I did mention this in the previous, updates and upgrades episode, but in July, I'm going to create another instructional method that I've had on the back burner for a while. It's called Shred School. And Shred School actually came about, I was teaching group lessons actually in Evansville, Indiana. But that was about 15 years ago or something like that. But I came up with this course and taught the class. It was very well received and very popular. I turned the course into a book, and it was actually going to be published by Cherry Lane, but then Cherry Lane Publications, shut their print division down. And my book that was about to be picked up actually fell through the cracks. And so I kept the method and have used it with students, in private lessons for years. But I'm going to basically convert this into the next, late night lessons instructional method. I also wanted to share in this episode that I am going to make a chord play instructional method that will also be available on Patreon. And I'm hoping to have that finished and posted like in the wintertime, maybe like November, December, something like that. It may end up being January of next year, but it's coming. And I've had hundreds of requests from viewers for chord play, lesson and notation files. And I honestly didn't originally, I haven't really posted any chord play, notation files on Patreon, simply because those lessons are using copyrighted songs. And one of my publishers, which is Hal Leonard, owns the exclusive, print rights to all that music. So I was trying to avoid, copyright conflict or, illegal activity with some of that copyrighted music. And the lick lessons and some of the, exercises and some of the other lessons I've made, scales and tails and these rant series and breaking chords and some of these other lessons, I believe they're safe because they're either licks from a live solo or a bootleg or something like that. But as soon as I start notating like Led Zeppelin and Beatles and Van Halen songs, there could be a problem as far as copyright issues, and I'm trying to avoid all, copyright and legal issues on this channel. I have a feeling the chord play method is going to be very interesting because we're going to look at actual, chord construction and chord progressions and these common elements that we found in some of these episodes. And if you've been watching, this channel and really paying attention, you should notice like certain things are repeating, like certain chords or, movements or progressions or voicings or whatever. You'll see them pop up in different episodes from different musicians and different bands. So that's really interesting to kind of notice these common themes, and then I'm also going to make sure I include a lot of uncommon themes in these roads, less traveled. So I'm definitely looking forward to putting Shred School together, and then right after that, I'm going to get to work on chord play, and I'm excited about putting that together too. All right, that's going to wrap this brief rant video looking at some updates and upgrades that are coming to Late Night Lessons channel. A new camera that has a mic upgrade, new instructional methods, t-shirts and coffee mugs. But I definitely want to thank everybody for the views and the comments, the requests, the support, either on YouTube, Facebook, or on Patreon as well. And it's just blowing my mind. We've recently hit 54,300 plus, subscribers, 4.2 million views. We're well over 4.2 million views so far. I'm really blown away. And definitely the Patreon supporters are starting to kind of increase, and that's really great. And the requests have just been constantly pouring in, and not only requests, but just these constant messages and comments that people are so inspired and so happy and thanking me for, either introducing them to a guitarist or a band or an album or a song or whatever it is. And there's all this excitement in the air, and it's infectious because it sounds like a lot of you are inspired and happy. And that's making me inspired and happy and keep, pushing forward with this idea. There's more great things on the way, and I definitely want to let everybody know that we're going to continue, the path and the direction I've already started here. But along the way, I'm going to continue to kind of boost and upgrade things or improve things as I go along. Whether that's a camera or equipment or a guitar or whatever, t-shirts or something like that. But I'm going to keep going and kind of keep pushing this to see what happens, because I'm really shocked at the positive feedback and reaction I've had so far. And like I keep saying, we're just getting started here. So the more comfortable I get doing this and the more I kind of flesh out some more of these ideas. I mean, trust me, I have a mountain of ideas that I'd like to put together. It's just a matter of time and editing and filming, obviously. But we'll get there. But anyway, leave some feedback and some comments. Please subscribe to Night Lessons, and I'll be back before you know with more content material. Thank you.